Okay, here's something that I never thought I'd really actually do. Growing up, I always thought it was kind of a grandpa move to put one of these in here. One of these carpet dash mats. However, when you watch the videos of a lot of these guys out in Australia or South Africa, all of them have these mats on their trucks. And I often wondered why. I've never heard one of them explain it until we did our last couple desert trips. And you drive through here, the back of the Suburban with the rear air conditioning control is beautiful. It's nice and temperate, nice and climate controlled back there. Everything's good to go. Up here in the front, you're cooking. And on that trip across Nevada, across the West Desert of Utah into Nevada, into Lake Tahoe, you could put your hand up here on this dash, and it was hot enough that you could warm your burrito on that thing. Total solar oven going on here. And I think that is why all those guys in Australia love to do these things on their dash. Is the simple fact of the matter is, you get so much solar radiation gain here that it cooks you up front, no matter how good your freaking AC works. And mine's doing a heck of a lot better with that upgrade to a PowerMaster alternator. Because remember, with my truck, I've got 2 huge fans up front for the radiator. Then there's 2 air conditioning fans in this truck, so that's a lot of current draw, a lot of electricity. You need some serious amps for that, which would be why I upgraded to a 225 amp alternator. You know, guys that do big stereo systems, they'd consider that kind of anemic too, because I mean, you can go up to 300 and 400 amps if you wanted to, but 225 should be fine. If I'm winching, if I'm off-road, then the AC is off. But so follow along with me as I show you how to actually install this thing, and we'll figure out on the road trip exactly how, next road trip ticket, exactly how well this does at cutting down the temperature gain or the solar gain here on the dash. So somehow I was expecting a much larger box, but they do roll it up in there. It's very lightweight, but I am utilizing the heat of my wife's hood because her truck has been parked outside all day long to help it unroll. Warm it up. Pretty sure the temperature inside this garage and my truck should make it actually fit pretty well. But yeah, I mean, it's simple. Instruction sheet was pretty simple too. I guess I just left that on my desk. Let it unroll. They say let it unroll overnight, but I'm thinking with the warmth we've got now, we should be okay. Comes with all this Velcro stripping stuff, and it's just the hook side of it all. And they say cut it down into 1-inch strips. Obviously, if you want this stuff to stick to your dash, that's the first thing in there is clean your dash. So I'll break out some shop towels and some Windex, and I'm going to clean everything down. I never use any Armor All or other junk like that on my dash, so I should be fairly good. When I do clean it, I clean it with Windex, so I would expect that this will stick fairly well. They say if it doesn't, you upgrade to some denatured alcohol or something like that. I've got some in the medicine cabinet in there, so if I need to, I can go to that, but I'm thinking Windex will do it. But yeah, basic carpet mat. This ought to do the trick. Let's see. Alright, because I do wipe down my truck fairly often enough. Keep myself a microfiber in the truck. I didn't get too much dirt off of there, but still want to get all the dirt off there you can. Make sure you got definitely a clean surface, or else that Velcro stuff ain't sticking. Funny thing is I can see the outline of where I had the command strips right there for my GoPro mount. Took those off. Alright, let's see what we can do with the Velcro stuff. Actually, before I even put the Velcro stuff out, I'm going to see how well the mat fits on here. I'll slide it on here since it's warm in the garage. I'll have it sitting on my wife's black hood. Hopefully that'll warm all that up, make it nice and pliable. It seems like it's supposed to be shaped and full and molded to this truck. It seems like it'll work. Let's see. Alright, it does fit pretty well. It's shaped pretty nicely. It's even got the curves over here for this portion. It's curved down in here for this. But as it was talking in the instructions, you may have to tuck it down between the windshield and the dash itself to get it to fit up front like you want it to. I think this will do the trick. So I'm going to start cutting this stuff into strips and placing Velcro. I'm looking at this right down here, and I'm thinking that's where I want some strips, is down around that vent cutout so I don't have problems with the air going up under there. Wondering if I have enough Velcro for that. It says do 1-inch strips, place it where you need to place it, so let's see. Okay, I'm choosing to put them back on this part of the dash, not on the actual bezel piece. So if I want to remove the bezel piece, I'm not interfering with this. It wouldn't be difficult. You see I'm going 6 to 8 inches apart. Should keep it in place. I only got 3 of these left. I may want to go get more Velcro later. But you stick them in there and you push it down and it grabs pretty well. And it should hold this thing in place, I think. Now the instructions say to leave it out overnight, to let it lay out like this, but I think having been on a UPS truck since 8:30 this morning in the desert Utah heat, it's been fine. It's laying fine. I'm not having any problems with it. And again, these are shaped and molded to be that way. So I need to get these last 3 on. So 2, well shoot. Yeah, I am running out. Because I used 2 down here. I want to do the same on that side, so I'm going to need to go get some more Velcro. I might have some in a stash somewhere. I'll have to look for it. But I'm guessing, you know, stuff you can pick up at any of your hardware store, big box store, whatever. You can get this, just the hook loop side, or the hook side. But yeah, I'm hoping this will solve the problem we had. So here we go. Alright, so like I said, I was running out of the Velcro, and I may need to go get some more. I had one for the center right here. May want 1 or 2 more here, 1 down in this divot. That shape is pretty good for that divot that exists. I mean, that's your sunglass holder or something like that. Want to put your burrito in there? I don't know. Someone puts a burrito on my carpet, I'll be upset. And I was thinking maybe another one down here would be good to keep this stuck in. So I'm gonna dig through my stash and see if I can find mine. But I ended up putting 1 piece of Velcro here, 1 piece here, and this is the only place that seems to be off at all. Is that I think it'll still flow what it needs to, but if that had been just over a slight hair, and you notice it's not just where I've put it, because the creases are where it's supposed to be, so this cut's just slightly off. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. If it were, I would simply cut a little bit right there, and that would fix it, but that we won't care about till the winter time. We'll see if it's not defrosting this side of the glass so I can see out that mirror, then maybe we'll adjust it or address it. Even if I did overcut it, it's not something I would see from the driver's side, so it won't matter to me. But yeah, otherwise, it's sitting in here pretty. One of the things, too, that's kind of fun is, given I'm using command strips on the back side of this here GoPro type mount, I just dig it into the carpet, and it should hold just as fine as it would otherwise. I wonder if during filming I'll have too much wobble. Don't know. We'll find out. Well, yeah, simple little 10-minute install just to get it all done. Took more time to film it than it did to do it. But again, like I said, I'm curious on that road trip, how it's going to go. Funny side note to that whole road trip. Wife said she was bored, and so she pulled out a spreadsheet and figured things out. And she did the comparo cost of us driving from Salt Lake County all the way up to Lake Tahoe and then down to Monterey and back again. In fuel cost us $800. So her question was, and she was doing the comparo, if we flew out there and rented a car, what would it cost? Well, flight for our family plus renting a car would be $950. So even a 10 mile per gallon Suburban will beat that flight cost. And if you know me, you know I hate the TSA and I hate subjugating myself to flights. I want freedom of movement and freedom of maneuver like I'm supposed to have as a God-given right as an American citizen. So I'm going to drive. But yeah, that's just funny. $800 in gas versus $950 in a rental car plus a flight. So no, we'll drive if we're going to California. Which, kind of hate to say it. I know a lot of you guys that watch my stuff are from California, but you guys got to get a handle on the idiocy in your state. I can't stand going there. I mean, yeah, you get me on the beach and get me away from the stupidity, and the beach is beautiful. It's nice. I can't argue with that. Lake Tahoe, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, in the future there'll be another Lake Tahoe trip, there'll be Yosemite trip, there'll be Big Sur and then the redwoods and all that stuff. It'll happen. But again, for me, I ain't flying, I'm driving. So as long as fuel prices, and that's the funny thing is I wasn't buying cheap fuel either. I was buying the ethanol free stuff wherever I could, because an old 98 Suburban like this will do better on the ethanol free. and here in town, that's what I'll go buy when and if I can. So, I don't know. Side notes, dash mat's in. You know, if you're thinking about one of these, stay tuned. Probably check me out on Instagram, and that's where I'm going to tell whether or not things have actually done any good, and that's where you'll see the results of this. And the thing is, I'm not too worried about the results, because you look at the solar gains, the heat, and all that kind of stuff. My dash is exceptional, being a 21-year-old truck, that it hasn't had major cracks. The only cracks I've got are these ones that happen down here. And there are some little clips you can get from the good friends at LMC Truck that'll mitigate that a little bit, and I may do that in the future, because this one's not cracked, those two are. And I may need to do that. But my dash is pretty good shape, as you saw when I was cleaning it. But this should help cover it and keep the solar radiation off it and keep it from cracking. If you got a dash that's cracked, this is a good way to cover it up. But again, my point here is why I went and did this grandpa move. One, this is not a it's not a rock crawler. It's a camping truck, and more than anything else, it is a road trip truck. That right there is the whole answer of why I stayed with 35s when I could have gone to 37s. More so than do I fit in the garage or not. It was simply, what is this truck and what does it do? 35s are what it needs to be. All right, there's my ramblings. Hope they did you some good, give you some input to your thought process of whether or not you want to put one of these mats on your truck. If you came this far and you listened to everything I said and saw what I did, appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.